Lecture, we are going to discuss about wave analysis and the importance of wave analysis and different types of wave analysis. So coming to our first topic of discussion, that is nothing but necessity of wave analysis. So why do we need wave analysis? What is the importance of wave analysis? Let us discuss now. So in signal processing, a noise-free system can be characterized by a transfer function such that its output y of t can be written as a function of the input x of t, as y of t is equal to f of x of t. That means it is necessary the output should follow the input signal. So though there is some certain time delay, but the output should be the exact replica of input. So when the transfer function comprises only gain A and the delay T, then the output is undistorted. So for example, though we get some time delay in the output after the input has been applied, so but the output should be the exact replica of input. So with some uh, time delay and multiplied by some gain value. So then only the signal is considered to be an undistorted one. So otherwise, if the output doesn't specify the shape or doesn't represent the exact replica of input, so then there is a distortion present in the signals. So distortion occurs when the transfer function f is more complicated than this. So when there is not a proper shape of signal, so when there is disturbance in the frequencies, when there is disturbance in the phase, so these are different characteristics of the waves, so where the distortion can frequently occur. So if the output waveform is very complicated and it is difficult to analyze what is the input given at the transmitter, so then we think that there is a distortion in the output. So distortion is the alteration of the original shape from the input signal. So that the distortion may occur in any of the characteristics of the signal. So those are nothing but amplitude, frequency and phase. So if the amplitude is changed, so if the sum of the amplitude has been cut off, so then there is a distortion in amplitude. So if there is any disturbance in the output frequency with respect to input, so then there is frequency distortion. So if there is a time delay with respect to input signal given and the output signal given, so then there can be a phase distortion. So like this, we have different types of distortion are present, so which are to be removed so that we can analyze the waveform clearly. So here the function of analysis, wave analysis is nothing but how the output signal has been varied with respect to input signal. And if there is any distortion presented, it is going to remove the distortion and the waves can be easily analyzed with the help of wave analysis. So distortion is usually unwanted and in practice it should be removed. So we have many networks available to minimize the distortion so that the output can be easily understood. So amplitude distortion is a distortion occurring in a system or subsystem or a device when the output amplitude is not a linear function of the input amplitude. So whenever there is disturbance in the amplitude with respect to input in the output, so then it is considered to be as amplitude distortion, and it is very most common distortion present in the telecommunications. That is why this kind of amplitude distortion, so where the original shape of the output signal is being varied with respect to input, should be removed. And when the output is not in this linearity, so we will have two types of amplitude distortion present in the systems. So those are nothing but harmonic distortion and intermodulation distortion. So what is harmonic distortion here? So here the creation of harmonics of the fundamental frequency of a sinusoidal wave to a system is nothing but harmonic distortion. That means whenever we have given input signal as sinusoidal wave, so the output should be exactly the sinusoidal wave. There should not be any disturbance in its shape. There should not be any kind of square or something other waveform to be present at the output. So if we give sinusoidal input, we have to get sinusoidal output. Okay, so if the system is designed to operate with respect to sinusoidal waves, so then if the output contains the frequency components along with the fundamental frequency f naught. So generally fundamental frequency is the main frequency which we have applied at the input. So that is nothing but f naught. So in the output there can be a chance of presenting harmonics which are the multiples of these frequencies. Okay, so if such kind of distortion occurs, so then it is known as harmonic distortion. And another one is intermodulation distortion. So this form of distortion occurs when two sinusoidal waves of frequencies f1 and f2 are present at the input, so resulting in the creation of several other frequency components whose frequencies include f1 plus f2, f1 minus f2, 2f1 minus f2, 2f2 minus f1, and so on. So harmonic distortion is present whenever there is only one waveform, one sinusoidal signal as the input, and in the output, if the multiple frequencies of the if not are present. So in intermodulation distortion, so we have two input signals, f1 and f2. So in the output, so the output should be only either sum of the signals or difference of the signals. That means f1 minus f2 or f1 plus f2. Otherwise, if it contains the multiple combinations like the combination of all these things, f1 plus f2, f1 minus f2, twice the frequency of f1 minus f2, or twice the frequency of f2 minus f1, and so on, or thrice the frequency of f1 minus f2. So if the harmonics are continuously present in the output, then there can be an intermodulation distortion. So if you look at this graph, these are some examples of different kinds of distortion present in the outputs. So when the inputs have been applied to the same kind of network, okay. So these are different networks. So those are tuned circuits actually which comprises of the resistor and capacitor or inductor and capacitor, etc. So these are different kinds of graph. So these graph represents the input, how the output is being varied with respect to input. So if there is no distortion, the output varies linearly with respect to input. So if there is any distortion present, so in the last two diagrams you can see, so there is no linearity of the output with respect to input. So these kind of graphs represent the distortion present. And these are different output waveforms of the same kind of signal which we have applied. So here we have applied square wave signal, but the distorted output contains some kind of sinusoidal signals mixed up with the square wave. Similarly, the next one is the time constant RC. So where the here pulses have been uh, present in the output, but here also some sinusoidal waves have been superimposed on the output. Similarly, here we have ramp waveform, which is mixed up with some kind of sinusoidal output. So, etc. So, like this. So, if the output contains multiple shapes, that means that may be due to amplitude distortion or frequency distortion or phase distortion. So if the output signal doesn't represent the input signal exactly, so then there is a distortion, and this kind of distortion should be removed with the help of filter circuits available in the telecommunications. So this function is done by wave analyzers. Wave analyzers analyze what kind of distortion present in the output signal and how we are going to measure that distortion and how we are going to minimize that distortion. So coming to the topic, wave analyzer. So any complex waveform is made up of fundamental frequency F naught and its harmonics, multiples of fundamental frequency. Those are nothing but 2 F naught, 3 F naught, 4 F naught, and so on. Just now we have discussed. So whenever any output waveform is being analyzed, so it may comprises of fundamental frequency and its harmonics, so which is represented by harmonic distortion. So here analyzer is used to measure the amplitude of each harmonic or fundamental. The wave analyzers are used to determine what is the exact amplitude of fundamental frequency or the different harmonics 2F0, 3F0, 4F0 and so on individually. So that we will be able to analyze the signal where the distortion is present and we can arrange circuits to remove that distortion. Analysis is in the frequency domain and can be performed with a set of tuned filters and a voltmeter. So simply, generally the signals are analyzed on CRT with the help of time domain. But wave analyzers use the concept of frequency domain because due to frequency components, that is nothing but harmonics, multiples of fundamental frequency are nothing but harmonics. So due to these kind of harmonics, the distortion is present. That is why the analysis should be carried out in frequency domain. Analyzers are also referred to as frequency selective voltmeters, carrier frequency voltmeters, and selective level voltmeters. So why these names means here those wave analyzers are tuned to certain frequency. For example, if you want the wave analyzer to tune to twice the fundamental frequency 2F0, so then the wave analyzer is adjusted to that frequency. That is why it is known as a frequency selective voltmeter. So why it is known as voltmeter? Because the amplitude is going to be measured of the particular frequency. So that is why wave analyzer must and should consist of voltmeter, so which is calibrated in the volts or decibels. So the instrument is tuned to the frequency of one component whose amplitude to be measured. So only whose component amplitude to be measured is tuned in the wave analyzer. So it will reject all the other frequencies. So for example, if we want 2F0 frequency, okay, so then the wave analyzer is constructed in such a way that it should adjust to that particular frequency and to avoid the remaining other frequencies. We want the 3 times of fundamental frequency, then we are going to change the resistance or capacitance present in the wave analyzer such that it will adjust to the new frequency and that's amplitude can be measured. Some wave analyzers have the automatic frequency control which tunes the signal automatically. So we have 2 types of wave analyzers which operate with the particular frequency. Whenever the capacitor or resistance is being varied, it will get adjusted. So otherwise, so we have Q factor filters, active filters, okay, whose quality factor is better. So okay, so that kind of analyzers are automatically adjusted to particular frequency. So with the help of tunable oscillators present in them. So that is why some analyzers have automatic frequency control than the basic wave analyzers. Here the first one is the basic analyzer, so which is used to adjust to the particular frequency. This is the block diagram or circuit diagram of a basic wave analyzer. Consists of 3 blocks mainly. So those are nothing but primary detector that comprises of LC tuned circuit and then full wave rectifier to read the average or peak value of the input applied input signal and then PMMC galvanometer. So as we have discussed previously, so the galvanometer reads the amplitude value in decibels. So that is why one PMMC galvanometer, which is nothing but DC voltmeter, should be present at the last. So AC circuit is adjusted for resonant, for resonance at the frequency of the particular harmonic component to be measured. Since this LC circuit, this inductor and capacitor circuit, so operate at particular resonant frequency. Okay, so then it will get adjusted to that particular resonant frequency and rejects the all other frequencies. It passes only that frequency to which it is tuned and provides a high attenuation to all other frequencies. That means it rejects the all other frequencies. So the filter rectifier is used to convert that alternating uh, voltage into DC voltage. Okay, so here we are going to measure the peak value of that DC voltage by using full rectifier, and then it is supplied to the indicating device, which is nothing but a simple DC voltmeter, so which is calibrated to read the peak value of the sinusoidal input voltage. This is how the basic wave analyzer will find out the amplitude of particular frequency signal by avoiding the remaining frequency signals. Then, so we have two types of wave analyzers. So these are nothing but frequency selective wave analyzer and super heterodyne wave analyzer. So these two work in different frequency range. That is why these are known as frequency selective wave analyzer and super heterodyne wave analyzer. So the frequency selective wave analyzer works in the audible frequency ranges, whereas super heterodyne wave analyzer can work in the megahertz frequencies also. Here, frequency selective wave analyzer consists of a very narrow passband filter section, so which can be tuned to a particular frequency within the audible frequency range. So here, so instead of using only one particular tuned circuit, which can pass only one type of frequency. So here we have automatic frequency control. So which can adjust which can adjust for the range of audible frequencies, starting from 20 Hz to 20 kilohertz. So this is the circuit of frequency selective wave analyzer, which comprises of input attenuator, driver amplifier, and we have cascading filter sections. Two filter sections are cascaded together, which is nothing but high quality factor filter, and its output is fed to meter range amplifier and then output amplifier. So this output amplifier drives the meter amplifier and detector as well as output buffer. So here the signal which is to be whose frequency components amplitude to be analyzed. So is applied to the input attenuator. So it provides the amplitude ranges. Okay, so it is range multiplier. So it is going to adjust the amplitude of the input signal, so such that multiple amplitudes can be available for analyzing of particular frequencies. So it is the work of driver amplifier is to transfer the maximum power to the filter section. So here we have two cascaded filter sections. Okay, so along with their amplifiers. So those are nothing but RC. So those filters are constructed with the help of RC networks. So here the function of this high quality filter is to select certain frequency in the audible range. So this is done with the help of a resistor and capacitor. So here capacitors are being varied to change the range. For example, from 20 Hz to we are going to change the range to 200 Hz, similarly 2000 Hz, like that by varying the capacitors. So for this, we are going to use the capacitors or high tolerant polystyrene capacitors, so for range changing. And similarly, in order to select a particular frequency in the range which has been provided by the capacitors, so resistances are being varied. So for that we are going to use precision potentiometers for adjusting the frequency in the divider. Okay, so here the function of resistance is to select frequency whose amplitude to be measured. So after that, so we are going to provide the output to the amplifier. Okay, output amplifier. So it is going to amplify the particular frequency amplitude, and it gives the output to meter amplifier and detector as well as output buffer. So here this meter amplifier and detector drives the vacuum type voltmeter. So where the amplitude is whose voltage is measured in decibels, as well as this mm, output buffer is able to drive the electronic devices such as recorders and electronic counters. So this is how we are going to measure the amplitude of particular frequency in the available audio frequency range. So the input attenuator gets the AF signal. So if the amplitude is too large, it is going to uh, attenuate it, and then it is given to the driver amplifier. Okay, so if the amplification is necessary, so it amplifies the signal and delivers the maximum power to the filter section. So here high quality filter is used to select the desired frequency, and it rejects the unwanted frequencies. And as we have discussed previously, it consists of two RC sections cascaded together along with their amplifiers. So here we can vary the capacitance values for range changing in the powers of 10, and similarly the resistance values in order to change the frequency within the selector. Similarly, meter range attenuator. So it gets the selected audio frequency signal as an input, produces an attenuated output whenever it is required. Okay, and then output amplifier amplifies the selected audio frequency signal if it is necessary. So then output buffer gives it to the output devices such as recorders and electronic counters as input. Okay, and the meter circuit is reading of selected audio frequency signal. So in the decibel range. So here this is the output sample of a meter output, so which has very narrow band. So it selects particular frequency amplitude, that is why its frequency response is very narrow. We have heterodyne wave analyzers. So here previously we have discussed frequency selective wave analyzers where it is used in the audio frequency range. So these heterodyne wave analyzers can be useful for the measurement of um, radio frequency range and above megahertz range. So this kind of wave analyzers which are used in the radio frequency range are nothing but heterodyne wave analyzers. So for analyzing the circuits, uh, for analyzing the waves in the radio frequency range, so we require special type of functions. So that is nothing but heterodyne or mixing. Okay, here we are going to mix the two signals, that is nothing but input signal, and another signal is available from the tunable local oscillator. So where the particular frequency can be adjusted. Okay, so the oscillator can be tuned to operate at particular frequency. Okay, and the different types of frequencies. The capability of tunable oscillator is it can operate at tunable frequency given by the circuit components. So that is why, since the heterodyning or mixing has been used in heterodyne wave analyzer, so this is known as heterodyne wave analyzer. So here the input signal whose of a certain frequency to be measured is applied to the adjustable attenuator, so which uses the multiple amplitudes, and then it is fed to the mixer, balanced mixer, so where the input signal is going to mix with the tunable oscillator frequency signal, and the sum and different frequencies are generated. So it is passed to the filter section where the required frequency is selected, and then that particular frequency component amplitude is going to be amplified, and then output is given to the vacuum type voltmeter, which is calibrated in the decibel range to read its just a change or modified or detailed circuit of heterodyne wave analyzer. So here the input signal is applied to the attenuator, so whose frequency is in the range of 0 to 18 megahertz. And then, so we have untuned amplifier. So it doesn't tune to particular frequencies, it just amplifies the signal and it handovers the maximum power uh, of the signal to the first mixer. So in the first mixer, the input signal frequency is from 0 to 18 megahertz is mixed up with local oscillator whose frequency can be adjusted from 30 to 48 megahertz with the help of uh, tunable frequency range control. So here in the first mixer, the input signal and local oscillator frequency carrier signal are being mixed up. So and the resultant signal from the first mixer is in the range of 30 megahertz, and after that it is going to be amplified since it is having that intermediate frequency, so which has been selected by the first mixer stage. So it is amplified with the help of IF amplifier, and then it is provided to the second mixer, so where zero frequency can be generated. So with the help of a crystal oscillator which has fixed frequency component. So that is nothing but 30 megahertz. So in the second mixer, the input signal, the intermediate signal, frequency signal whose frequency is 30 megahertz is going to be heterodyne with the crystal oscillator carrier frequency uh, whose frequency is in the same value of intermediate frequency. So and then the output of second mixer is nothing but the zero frequency, that is fundamental frequency whose amplitude is to be measured. So here active filter is designed in such a way that its pass band is selected from 0 to 1500 hertz. That means it is active low pass filter, so it is able to pass the zero frequencies as well. So and then this signal is delivered to the meter amplifier and detector, so which drives the output meter that is calibrated in decibels to measure the amplitude of particular fundamental frequency or else different types of harmonic frequency components. Okay, so this is how the wave analyzer is used to analyze the signals in the RF range. So that is something about 10 kilohertz to 18 megahertz. So here RF signal to be analyzed is applied to the input attenuator. So if the amplitude is too large, it can be brought down, and then untuned amplifier amplifies the radio frequency signal, and then it is applied to the first mixer. So here the frequencies which are beat together are nothing but in the range of 0 to 18 megahertz and 30 to 48 megahertz. Frequency is nothing but the intermediate frequency, that is difference of those two frequencies. So which is in the range of 30 megahertz. So then it is amplified and applied to the second mixer, so where the zero frequency is obtained. So this zero frequency is passed to the active low pass filter. Okay, so hence is driven by the meter circuit which displays the reading of radio frequency signal. So we can choose the meter reading in volt range or in decibel range. So volt, so it is calibrated in two scales. So that is in voltages or else in decibel range. So any of the reading can be measured with the help of meter circuit. So hope you have understood what we have discussed today. Thank you so much.